Tate McRae, welcome to
Hello.
New Zealand.
Thank you.
Okay, quick thing that I like to, I know we were talking before and you said you haven't really had a chance to see much of New Zealand. It's kind of
Yeah.
like rainy hotel rooms and sound checks. I like to play a game with people
Okay.
when they first come to New Zealand because I know people think certain things of us and they associate certain things with New Zealand.
Okay.
If you had to think off the top of your head, the first 3 things that come to mind when you think of New Zealand.
Okay, I honestly don't know that much about New Zealand.
That's okay.
The only thing I will
This
say
is it, I'm just gathering data from, you know.
is the hills in Justin Bieber's music video. He just like runs through New Zealand.
Yeah.
And it's just his whole music video. So
That's it.
That's literally all I know about New Zealand. I don't
That's
really know
pretty
much
much-
else.
That's all we have, really. Is
The hills?
one music video
Fuck
from
yeah.
Justin Bieber. I heard though that you're a fan, and this is like a New Zealand and Australian thing.
Okay.
But are you a fan of Tim Tams?
Yes. Fans give Tim Tams to me at shows all the time.
Really?
Yeah, they give me a whole bunch of snacks and stuff.
Oh god, here I am thinking this is going to be original. But I did get you Tim Tams.
Hell yeah,
and I
thank
am
you.
a fan. What's your favorite? Have you tried the chewy caramel?
I haven't.
Stop it.
I've only tried the chocolate ones.
Really? Okay, well these are the best
Hell yeah.
by far. You also
you.
get a chance to win $100,000 with some local campaign, which I guarantee you're not eligible for.
That I'm gonna enter
But Tate
for sure.
McRae, there you go.
Wow.
Feel free to have one now. We can crack into them. I don't
You
know what
angel.
your pre-show routine is. I don't want
Sure.
to mess it up for you.
Yeah, you want one?
Yeah, I'd love one.
Okay.
Is that rude to
You know
give
what?
someone a gift and then instantly demand some of it?
No, I do that all the time. My friend came to the airport yesterday, 'cause she's from New Zealand, and she gave me like candies to try, and they were so weird. There's like one that's like pineapple covered
Oh, thank you.
chocolate. Is that
Yeah,
like
pineapple lumps.
pineapple lumps?
It's like chocolate and then pineapple in the middle.
What a
is that it?
terrible name.
Did you not
Pineapple
like it?
lumps? No.
Really? What else did she give you?
Jabbas. Orange colored
Jaffas.
chocolate. Jaffas.
No. That's what they call people from Auckland.
Really?
They call us Jaffas.
Jaffas. And then, what was the third one? It was literally just like chocolate.
Oh,
I
yeah?
don't know, regular chocolate.
How do
These
you-
are so good.
How would you rate the chewy caramel? Have you got to the caramel yet?
No, I haven't.
It's the best part.
10 out of 10. I love these things.
Okay.
I think they're so good.
So who's your friend from New Zealand? How do you have a friend here?
I had like a foreign exchange student who should go to ballet school with me.
Really? So she was living where you were and she was from New Zealand?
Yeah, and so
Oh,
she
okay, cool.
literally just like came to the airport yesterday and like saw me. Yeah.
Have you like seen her since then or?
No.
Wow.
I haven't seen her in years.
That's so cool.
I know.
You have famously had friends that you've danced with featuring music videos and stuff. Is there a chance that your Kiwi ballet friend from high school would feature in an upcoming music video?
I think she's a physiotherapist now, so
yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
You're an incredibly talented songwriter, Tate, and a lot of that obviously comes from your natural ability to share and write creatively, but a lot of that comes from practice and time.
Right.
And I know you wrote and posted an original piece right through middle school. You talked about it recently in an interview about how some of those still haunt you.
Obviously, between 13 and the end of your teenage years, you change a lot, right? You mature. Do you watch them and feel differently about them now?
Yeah, they haunt me forever.
Can you think of the most embarrassing song from that period of your life and what it was called and what it was about?
I have so many songs. I honestly just like, because I like wasn't really like exposed to like real life for a long time, because I was like fully dance for such a long time. So I went to ballet school with like all girls. So when I started like meeting people, I was just like so dramatic, and I just had so many things to talk about that like I would like fall in love with people so fast. I'd be like, oh, I love you. You know what I mean? And then I'd write a song about it, and then I'd post it on the internet.
It's impossible to get you off my mind. Maybe we haven't planned it all out. Say we speak another language.
It looked like I was like a crazy chick who had lived through like 17 relationships.
Yeah.
But I was like 14 and like had only met someone. You know what I mean? Like, which I think is kind of cool now, because I'm like, it's impressive that you convinced everyone that you had fallen in love and you had done all this stuff at 14. But yeah, I wrote about like high school friends. I wrote about middle school, like boys, just like literally everything you can talk about, and it's funny to look back on.
Everyone has these moments from like middle school that now exist on social media still, and yours is just slightly more public.
You just think about like, you know, you post a photo on Instagram in 2012.
Yeah.
And everyone archives it, right? Like they're like, oh, I'm never gonna look at that again, right? For me, these videos, some of them have like 16 million views.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't delete it now.
No, you can't. Or
So-
someone screen recorded it and put it somewhere
Right,
else.
it's like everywhere. So
So speaking of that, obviously you exaggerated like relationships when you're 14. Your
Right.
new album, I Used to Think I Could Fly. I've listened to the whole thing multiple times. Big fan.
thank you.
I'm the fan that brings you Tim Tams, obviously.
Hell yeah.
Clearly, it's about relationships. A lot of the
Right.
songs, at least.
Yeah.
Not always successful relationships.
Right.
Are they exaggerated a little bit as well and played up, or a lot of them like quite accurate? Because I know you are quite an authentic songwriter, and you like everything to be
Right.
your life.
I mean, if you talk about it like being exaggerated, usually you write things in the heat of the moment.
Yeah.
So like if you're about to go into a fight or something, you'll say things that are like probably a little more heated than if you were to look back at it 3 months later and be like, oh, whatever. But yeah, usually I'm like really passionate about like real things, and if I feel strongly about something, I'll write a song about it. But yeah, it's all about like different people and different scenarios, not just one person.
See, a lot of people feature on the album. I've always wanted to know this. You write a song about someone.
All right.
It's not necessarily positive.
Uh-huh.
How do they find out it's about them? Or do they never?
They never find out. I would honestly never tell, or I'm just honestly not a very confrontational person either. Like
Yeah.
I'll usually just like step back out of people's lives if I like need to, whatever. But yeah, people don't know if I write a song about them. It's like very rare that people will be like, oh, this is about me.
So She's All I Want to Be.
She's got everything that I don't have. How could I ever compete with that?
It's just a
Yeah.
passive aggressive.
Yeah.
No one knows.
And then no one knows. I mean, honestly, that song is, I feel like it's less passive aggressive and more like sad. 'Cause I'm like,
Yeah.
I feel like so many girls just like are, you know, faced with social media every single day, and it's like so depressing that those are the kind of thoughts that go through
Yeah.
people's heads, you know, and that we have to deal with that every single day now. Just like jealousy and
Of course.
comparing yourself to other people. So
Yeah, and then these like false beauty standards that no one can attain. So did that
Right.
happen to you? You were dating someone and then they went after someone else and you're like, well, I can't be them.
yeah, I mean, there's been scenarios where there's always another girl. Like, I feel like that's like one of the worst things that like makes you nervous about relationships is like there's always someone else, unless you're like, you know, getting married or whatever. But there's literally always like another person or someone that you're suspicious about, or and that's a horrible feeling to just like. I'm like really loyal. Like I just like if I like want to date someone, I like want to date someone, and I don't want to have a wandering eye, and I just think it's so crazy that people can be in a relationship and think about someone else.
Yeah. Does that happen with you when you were like seeing someone when you were younger?
Uh-huh.
Obviously, you've become incredibly famous now at a young age, and they've reached out to you now, and you're like, hey, hold on, right? Or even like a friend who hits you up and they're like, Tate, what's up? I see you planning this big holiday. Can I come? You're like, we didn't hang out at high school.
There's definitely been a lot of scenarios where
Yeah.
I have friends who are like, oh, we were friends. I mean, we were not friends. You were not nice to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's just like the weird thing with like when you get followers, people just like assume that you're like, oh, remember me? And I'm like, what? Like you're making this whole thing up. It's very weird.
Well, welcome to New Zealand. Thanks so
Thank
much
you.
for giving me your time. Really appreciate it.
course.
And I can't wait for the show tonight. I can't
Thank
wait for you to
you.
come back here and experience
And
everything
the hills.
properly.
The hills and Justin Bieber's
and
music
film
video.
your music video with your dancer friend.
Oh yeah, I will.
And maybe me in the back with some Tim Tams. We can figure out the logistics
Hell
of
yeah.
how that'll work.
I love that. Great idea.